Have you ever noticed how we all become Olympic-level sprinters the moment we need to avoid something we're supposed to do? Like, you're meant to answer that text from your friend. The phone is right there. But instead, you suddenly find yourself reorganizing your socks by color, or deep cleaning your fridge, or falling down a TikTok rabbit hole of cats wearing tiny hats. Guys, I went from, "I'll respond in a sec" to, "Whoa, when did it become 2025?" in about 30 minutes. See, that's kind of what it felt like in my friendships. I was always the first to reach out, the first to say, "Hey, you alive?" The first to match their plans with my calendar. Which, by the way, was already a mess because I'd filled it with made-up tasks like learn Japanese by Tuesday or floss more frequently. The worst part, I thought I was, keeping it together. But I was kind of like that person in a group project who does all the work while everyone else is busy designing their holiday in the group chat. It was ridiculous. I was putting in 90% effort for 10% return. I was texting first, organizing hangouts, smoothing over arguments. Honestly, I might as well have gotten a paycheck for being the official friendship manager. But here's the wild bit. I kept this up for years, guys. Literal years. It's like I was the captain of a ship, and all my crew were napping in the lounge while I fought off a giant kraken with a pool noodle. Then it hit me. Guys, I was the clown in my own circus. I was spinning all the plates, wearing all the wigs, and buying all the popcorn. So I decided it was time to hang up the clown shoes. I let messages sit unread. I turned down plans when I didn't feel like it. I let silence do its magic. And you know what? Some people noticed. Some walked away, but the best part is, I walked away from wearing myself thin. So, here's the moral of this ridiculous story. Sometimes you realize you're not the lead actor in someone else's show. You're the whole production team. And when you quit, the show kind of falls apart, which honestly is a win for you. So next time you find yourself putting in all the effort, remember, you're not a clown, you're a superstar. Take off that wig, put down the pool noodle, and let's find friendships where we're equals, not the entertainment committee. So there I was, thinking I was the MVP of all friendships, when in reality, I was more like the guy handing out orange slices at halftime and washing everyone else's jerseys afterwards. It's kind of wild when you realize you're not a friend. You're a service. There were people who treated me more like their personal delivery app. "Hey, you available at 2 p.m. to talk me through my crisis again?" And there I was, dropping everything to respond faster than Amazon Prime on a holiday weekend. I honestly should have gotten loyalty points for all the effort I put in. It got to the point where I felt less like a person and more like a 24/7 support center. I was friend, therapist, motivational coach, party planner, you name it, except I was wearing all these hats without a paycheck or even a thank you. Guys, I turned myself into the human equivalent of a multi-tooled, a nice handy gadget people kept in their back pocket and used when convenient. But when I tried to ask for something in return, when I wanted someone to check in on me or match just a bit of the effort I was putting in, radio silence. It was like I pressed the self-destruct button on the relationship, simply by expecting it to be reciprocal. So I decided it was time to hang up my utility belt. I pressed pause on always being available, always putting myself last. At first, it felt strange. I kept wondering if everyone was mad at me, if friendships were falling apart because I hadn't gotten back immediately or hadn't made the first move. But then, something wild happened. The silence I was afraid of turned out to be peace. The space I made by removing myself from those roles filled up with something else. Clarity. I started seeing which friendships were genuine and which were just convenient. I noticed who noticed my silence, who made an effort to close the gap, and who simply fell away because their benefits were gone. It kind of felt like cleaning out your phone's storage. Painful at first, a little scary, but afterwards you realize you have a lot more space for things that matter. So now I'm not the friend who drops everything for everyone else. I'm the friend who checks in when I have the energy, who shows up when it feels right, and who expects the same in return. It's a wild twist in the story. I went from trying to be everyone's everything to just letting myself be me. The moment I let go of always making the effort was the moment I made room for friendships that were a true match. And honestly, it feels a whole lot better to be valued for who I am, not just for what I do. So if you find yourself spinning all the plates and wearing all the hats in your friendships, take a deep breath, put them down, and watch who sticks around when you do. It might be painful at first, but in the end, you're making space for something real. How much I was tying my worth to my ability to show up for everyone else. I hadn't noticed it at first. It kind of snuck up on me, like a slow leak in a tire. All those years of always texting first, always organizing the hangouts, always remembering the birthday messages. I honestly believed that was what made me a good friend, a valuable person. Loving only if we're useful, if we're constantly proving we care. But it turns out friendships, and relationships in general, aren't meant to be transactions. They're meant to be a two-way road, a place where both people put in effort, not just me over and over again until I'm worn thinner than my socks after 1,000 miles. So when I pressed pause and decided to let friendships show me their true colors, it was painful at first. It was kind of like peeling wallpaper off a wall, messy, frustrating, and a little bit sad. But when I finished, I saw something I hadn't noticed in years. There were friendships that fell away immediately, the ones who were there only because I made it convenient for them. There were a few friendships that remained, friendships that were made of something more, something reciprocal, something real. It felt like I'd gotten a deep clean on my soul. There was less chaos, less overwhelm, and more peace. Instead of feeling stretched in all directions, I felt anchored. I felt more myself. It was in this quieter space that I started to appreciate something I hadn't valued in a long time. Myself. My preferences, my needs, my peace. I noticed I hadn't made choices for myself in years. I'd gotten into a habit of putting everyone else's happiness above my own. But now, I was choosing me. That meant not dropping everything when someone demanded my time, not ignoring my own plans just to be available, not feeling guilty when I didn't match their urgency with my own. It was a powerful feeling, a feeling of owning my life again, a feeling I hadn't tasted in years. So now when I look back, I realize I hadn't gotten it all wrong. I hadn't misunderstood friendship. I'd just gotten a bit confused about my role in it. I thought I was meant to carry it all on my back, when in reality, friendships are supposed to be a shared load. It's not supposed to be me against the world. It's supposed to be me alongside people who care just as much, who put in effort just as much, and who appreciate me just for being me. The moment I let go of trying to do it all myself was the moment I made space for those people, the ones who were meant to be in my life all along. It's a wild twist in the story, isn't it? The moment you stop chasing, you realize you're already enough, just as you are. And it's kind of funny when you think about it. We chase and chase. We send the first messages. We make all the plans. We carry the whole relationship on our back. And we do it because we're afraid. We're afraid we aren't enough just by ourselves. We're afraid we need to constantly prove we're worth loving, worth choosing. But when you let all of that drop away, when you put it down and say, okay, this is me, take it or leave it, something remarkable starts to happen. The people who appreciate you for who you are start to appear. Quietly, effortless. The ones who were there only for what you provided fade into the background, and you realize you were holding up a whole structure that was meant to collapse without you. It's kind of wild how much power we have in choosing where we put our energy. It made me appreciate the friendships I do have, the ones where effort isn't a competition, where phone calls come from both directions, where messages are exchanged without me feeling like I'm disturbing someone. It made me realize how much I'd been ignoring those friendships, the ones that were already there, quietly loving me back, while I was busy trying to win over people who were never going to appreciate me in the first place. There's a peace in that. There's a deep peace in letting relationships be what they are, letting people show you who they are, instead of trying to force them into something you wish they were. So now I find myself gravitating toward friendships where we celebrate each other's happiness and sit with each other's struggles, where we match each other's effort without keeping score, where we appreciate without expecting, and we give without resenting. It's a whole different feeling. Lighter, more effortless, because it's reciprocal. It's not me wearing myself down just to keep something alive. It's two people choosing, over and over again, to show up for each other in small and big ways. That kind of connection feels rich and full in a way I hadn't experienced when I was busy trying to do it all myself. Looking back, I realize I was afraid to let relationships find their own balance. I tried to control it, to make sure nobody left me, to stay indispensable in everyone's life, but that was a heavy way to live. It meant ignoring myself, ignoring my needs, ignoring the simple reality that relationships should be a two-way flow, not a one-sided waterfall. So now, when I feel that old urge creeping back, the feeling that I should do more, say more, be more, a feeling of freedom. And honestly, I wish I'd gotten here years earlier. But all that matters now is that I'm here, I'm growing, and I'm honoring myself in a way I hadn't before. It's a whole new chapter. Messy, real, imperfect, but it feels a lot more like home. It's messy, it's filled with doubts and moments where I find myself slipping back into those old patterns. Texting first, organizing plans, trying to keep something alive that's already gone. There are nights when I lie in bed wondering if I made a mistake, if I'm losing friendships I should be holding on to. There are moments when silence feels heavy and confusing, when not trying feels a bit like failing. But then I remember, I'm not failing, I'm letting go. I'm letting friendships be what they are instead of forcing them into something I wish they were. It's a form of maturity I hadn't recognized in myself before. The ability to let something fade gracefully instead of staying in a tug-of-war with reality. This kind of letting go isn't dramatic. It's a series of small choices made day after day. It's choosing not to send the first text when I realize I'm always the first. It's choosing not to reorganize my weekend plans just to be available for someone who barely shows up for me. It's choosing peace over chaos, dignity over desperation. It's choosing myself. It feels strange at first, like wearing a pair of shoes that are a little stiff. But the more I walk in it, the more comfortable it becomes. It starts to feel less like loneliness and more like freedom. There's a calmness in honoring myself this way. There's a deep peace in trusting that the people meant for me will find me and stay, without me having to chase them. In letting go, I'm not closing myself off. I'm opening myself up. I'm making room for friendships that reflect the person I am now. The process of honoring the lessons I've learned, the painful ones and the healing ones, and trusting that this is not the end of friendships, but the beginning of a richer, more deep-rooted connection. It's a powerful feeling when you realize you're not a clown performing for everyone else's happiness. You're the main character in your own story. The moment you start honoring that, everything starts to align in a way you hadn't thought was possible. So now, when I reflect on all of it, the years of trying, the disappointments, the growing, the letting go, I realize I was never powerless in these relationships. I was making choices all along. I just hadn't recognized it. The moment I chose to put myself first, the moment I decided I was enough without needing validation from anyone else, everything shifted. My friendships started reflecting back to me the worth I was already holding within myself. It's a wild, messy, painful, and wonderful journey, and it's far from over. But it feels a whole lot more like me, and honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything. So here we are at the end of this wild ride, from wearing myself out trying to be everything for everyone, to letting friendships find their own balance and honoring myself in the process. It's kind of crazy how much you learn about your worth when you stop chasing it from outside and start believing it from within. The moment I decided I was enough, without constantly proving it, everything fell into place in its own messy, wonderful way. So if you're listening and you're going through something similar, feeling drained, unappreciated, unsure if you matter, let me be the friend who tells you this. You do matter. Your worth isn't defined by who sticks around or who drops away. It's defined by how much you value yourself. So let people come and go. Let friendships show you their true colors. Let silence do its magic, and watch how much peace you find when you learn to let go. Because in the end, you're not a clown in someone else's show. You're the main character in your own story, and you deserve friendships that appreciate you just for being you. So here's to honoring ourselves, letting friendships be what they are, and trusting that we're enough, just as we are.